In regard to what's going on in my school district, I cannot comment on a confidential personnel matter. Some of the information that you might be seeking is in the public domain, and I would suggest that you research that.
So I'm facilitating for TNT, that's not what you said. You had tuition that's high, but I'm gonna let you go ahead.
Thank you.
You gotta be truthful though.
Was that so that was your answer. For the record, I just want to be clear that what Sharon Owens said at the beginning of this was not that the mayor should not be involved in decisions around school, but that what it is about what is the purview of the mayor when they actually have the ability to run the city. When you have a common councilors forum next week, the common councilors will remind you that they have within their purview is to your operating budget. No? Okay. So, and when we have a school district forum, these questions will get even more interesting. So we just want to be clear about the kind of information that we have, because we do believe in civic engagement, and we want your questions to be pointed to the person who could actually do something about it. Now,
the mayor can be able to discussion about it, because the mayor is representing me.
yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Well, I understand your feeling, but you know, we sent the index card. I feel you. Absolutely. The city budget. Craig French asks specifically, what are one or two major changes that you will make immediately in the next city's budget? How will this benefit the city and its neighborhood and its residents? And it says all. The city has 3 city-owned buildings with community centers, Southwest, Northeast, and Westside. Currently, the only funding the city contributes are CDBG, is that the acronym? Dollars, which are under threat in the next federal budget. Will you commit to moving this funding for the centers to the city budget? So let me just ask that again. Will you commit to moving this funding for the centers to the city budget? Please turn up your cards if you're interested in answering, and we're going to go ahead and start with Mark.
Thank you, and thank you for the question. The short answer is yes, I will commit to moving that to the city budget. The longer answer is how, because we can all say we're going to do it, but you better know the budget inside and out to be able to move those resources. Obviously, the Trump budget is detrimental to CDBG, which is Community Development Block Grant funding, and forever the centers have been operated off those. However, going back to what I mentioned about a city room occupancy tax, we can take dollars from outside, 30 seconds, from outside the area of people visiting Syracuse that are paying to stay in our hotel rooms, and we can use those towards programs for our young people, and that would be my intent if we had to move it off that CDBG line. Thank you.
Okay. Raymond?
All right, to touch on the question about local hiring, I think that it's appalling that we are asking for only 10% of ordinances for employees when the city gives contracts. So if I was mayor, it'd be a lot higher. 40%. Secondly, I think that it's not just about restructuring the budget, but just when money gets spent, put it in the community's pocket. If $2 dollars go up and the people in the community don't even know it's being built, and then you don't even give me a job to help put it together, that's an insult. So I'm looking for definitely creative ways to raise revenue, but just give me a piece of the pie.
Go ahead. Actually, it's Tony.
Sharon, I will actually commit everything I possibly can to make sure that we continue to fund Southwest Community Center. And if we could not do it with city bunnies, we would certainly find a way, just like we would find a way to support many of our community-based organizations that, as I said before, really step in and get the job done when the city fails to do that. So it's important that our community centers are funded. With regard to the city budget, the question is, what would we do? And my response to that is, I would immediately stop water shutoffs for the poor people of this community and our children who are affected by it on a daily basis. Those are bad decisions, and I would certainly change that.
So you have 10 questions, you have 2 questions on the table, but forgive me, I was reminded that there was a third question. Do you plan on honoring the consent decree? Do you plan on honoring the consent decree for the fire department and the police? You would like to include that in your future? So next up, we're gonna go now, just because.
So are we still on the same question?
We are, it's included. Sure, let's reread them. Specifically, what are 1 or 2 major changes you will make immediately in the city's next budget? How will this benefit the city, neighborhoods, and its residents? The city has 3 city-owned buildings. Essentially, how will you commit to moving this funding for the centers to the city budget? And do you plan on honoring the consent decree, specifically of the police department and the fire department? You can choose any one of those questions. You can choose to try to answer those in your 1 minute, but those are the questions on the table.
All right, so I was active on it. So just real quick, absolutely, I would continue that and hopefully try to increase the funding. But this is how you increase the funding. Currently, we have police officers, firefighters, and school teachers who do not live in the city, but yet every 2 weeks they look for their check. So we need to have them, and what I proposed this when I ran before, I talked about the city ordinance tax. Put a tax on those individuals who put a demand on city services, but yet do not pay anything into the city coffers. We can increase our city coffer by taxing them a percentage of what they pay in their current residents, whether it's in DeWitt, Fayetteville, Camillus, Skinny-Atlas, put a percentage on what they pay there to pay to the city. And then because when they retire, most of them leave here, and then they take that $60, $70, $80, $90,000 a year job to Florida or somewhere else, and again, putting a demand on our resources, but nothing is going back into the city coffer. So that's how I would generate revenue to help increase funding for the CDC.
Ben?
Thank you. So on the issue of the budget, one thing that I would do, if you look at the annual budget, what you would notice going back to 2010 is that the city diverts over $2 million, about $2.4 million of revenue that we generate from the water department and put it in to balance the budget. What we're doing there is we're missing out on a significant opportunity to reinvest those revenues back into our infrastructure that we know we need investment in. And it becomes a lot easier to secure federal and state resources when we can use our own local funding as leverage. So I would do that. I would also restore funding to the land bank to make sure that we can continue the commitment we made to our neighborhoods, and also to continue to collect taxes in a more efficient way as we've done since the land bank was created. Finally, I will do everything in my power to support community centers, both through CDBG and city funds, because the community centers do such critical work and are really at the center of our neighborhoods. Thank you.
Joseph?
To the consent decree, absolutely. To the centers, yes, we will find a way to fund them. But the third thing is I immediately am going to make 2 or 3 changes in City Hall. The first is that I'm going to revamp and strengthen the codes department with their relationship to the law department and to the neighborhood business operation. We need to send a message to people around this community, LLCs and absentee landlords, enough is enough, and we're going to crack down on them. The second thing I'm going to do is move economic development and the Office of Minority Affairs into City Hall, and the mayor is going to become the chief negotiator and spokesman. We need to improve our neighborhoods, and we need to provide economic opportunities for all the people of the city, and the MBE, WBE is a great way to do it. Those are the 3 major things that I intend on doing on day 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. With regard to changes to the budget, again, looking for cost efficiencies and cost avoidances. That's what leaders do. They also collaborate with other leaders and people in the community to find ways to creatively generate additional sources of revenue. With regard to local hiring, yes, it's essential, but we can't just say we're going to make a blanket statement and hire people in the community who aren't trained for certain jobs. So it's essential that we support what's going on in our schools, support the CTE programs in particular that are going on in our high schools so that our students have post-secondary plans as far as supporting the community development center, the community centers. Yes, of course I would want to do it, but I'm also mindful of the fact Danforth needs $54 million in renovation. We only have $17 million to address the problems. The parents there are angry, ceilings are crumbling in on the children. We need to take care of our schools. That will draw more people to the communities. Thank you.
Juanita, if you wanted to answer the consent decree question. That's the yes or no question.
Yes, I would support it, and I would support it with ensuring that we're exposing our young people in the high schools to first responder opportunities and then making sure they're employed when they graduate.
Thank you. So we're going to do a time check. I know how he wants to respond, but I want to do a time check with the crowd. Are folks willing to stay another 20 minutes? Yes, our candidates willing to stay another 20 minutes? Okay. So we have 3 more sets of questions and then another direct question for the candidate. How do we respond? And how you please remember you have a minute for the question. So we talk slowly. Okay. Okay, so while we're doing that, we can definitely come back to how I want to keep it moving because we have a question that's actually directly for Juanita. Juanita, you have a few questions on deck. You can, choose to answer them as you will. You still have the 1 minute. So this person did not put their name on the back. They say, I'm a lifelong resident. I have never seen you in my neighborhood until this year. Where have you been? What is your solution to the consolidation dilemma? How do you see preserving a strong urban center in the shadow of consolidation? That one does not have a name on it as well. All right, so y'all are making me draw upon my Spanish, so if it doesn't go as well as you hope, then please you can get up and say it too. Me gustaría saber más de sus calificaciones para ser alcalde y también sus planes. Exactamente. Para ayudar a la comunidad latina. Can you elaborate on your military service and explain how that will assist you if you become the mayor of Syracuse? And so none of these have names. If you wrote the question down, please stand up and really recognize. We have one here. Right. Okay. I can give you a minute and 30 seconds. A minute and 30 seconds. A minute and 30 seconds. There's 4 questions.
I have been in this community doing the hard work behind the scenes, certainly not vying for the attention or being someone that is outspoken on the news. What I have done is this. I am with the Valley American Legion as a veteran. I am on Clear Path for Veterans. I am a board member of La Liga. I am a board member for Catholic Charities. I teach confirmation at my church. I work with single mothers at Joseph's House. I support the NAACP and have been part of that organization. I'm helping people. I know that it's not about me. It's not about my face. It's about what I have been doing as a community citizen. And above all, more than anyone can say at this table, I serve my country.
Right on.
The way that I got myself through college and through law school was to join the military, and I'm proud of it. And I will talk about that as workforce opportunity for youth in our city. And I am a proud Latina, and I am someone that will support the community And frankly, when I become the mayor of the city of Syracuse, I will be the first Latino mayor in New York State.
So there you go. And last but not least, thank you, Juanita. Last but not least, until we shift to Sharon Owens, kind of closing us off with our last set of questions. We have, oh my goodness. Sorry. All right, keep it focused. Holly, here you go. You have your 1 minute. Did you need me to reread the question, or do you remember your answer?
Well, since our last spoke, the question about public education city budget is consent decree. You want me to answer all three in 1 minute?
Yeah.
We got segregation in schools. Next mayor's got to talk about that. Segregation was designed by the government, starting with housing, and nobody's talking about it. The consensus commission said they start studying it in July. It's almost July. You got to get on that. 2 changes to the city budget. I would not promote police and invest in crime prevention and things we needed for communities. In the consent decree, 1980, we were supposed to have 10% of every rank in the police force be black officers. That was 1980. Now 25, 30% of the city is black and 50% is people of color. And we only got 5% black officers. So we need a new police chief that will diversify the police force. A quarter of these guys are ready to retire. There's an opportunity to diversify the police force without expanding the number of cops. Next mayor's going to make sure that happens.
Last but not least, my portion is human relations. Again, you can choose to answer it or not. Please turn your cards up if you're interested. What would you do to support the movement for Black Lives Matter platform? What specifically would you do to maintain Syracuse as a sanctuary city? And recently, Gay Pride Week was celebrated. The parade has moved from downtown to one street near Inner Harbor. Will you work to build Gay Pride and start by moving parades back downtown, other cities? For other cities, this is a huge event.
Oh, this is fascinating. I mean, really, for all of the talk of what you're gonna do in particular communities, we're not gonna do this. This is a human relations question. Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. Who put their 10 up first? Go ahead, Martin. I saw you put your 10 up.
I'll defer, ladies, before John.
No, we're not doing it. No.
So in regards to the parades this weekend, the CNY parade, Pride Parade, I did attend the flag raising that was at City Hall, and I tried to attend a parade, but was committed to the Juneteenth parade, which were both on the same date at the same time. Juneteenth came into downtown, CNY parade, Pride was at the Inner Harbor. I will work with both organizations to make sure that we can have both parades in downtown Syracuse. I understand that dates are important to folks, but a Friday and a Saturday, or a Saturday and a Sunday, whatever the case may be, all community members will be treated equal under my administration, and I believe I practiced what I preached by attending these events, not just this year, but really for the last 15 years. So I will continue that through my administration. Thank you.
Thank you. With regard to Sanctuary City, it's a pleasure to include new Americans in our community. One of the main concerns that I've heard is that some of them don't feel safe in their neighborhoods. I've been in neighborhood meetings when law enforcement has announced publicly that our new Americans are targeted specifically by criminals. That is definitely an area that needs some work. Also, some of their living conditions are substandard. That is entirely unacceptable. People who come to this city should expect a higher standard of living than the countries that they work so hard to escape from to be here. Thank you.
Black Lives Matter, the Pride Parade, these issues deserve a lot more attention than having some parades. We need to actually think about policies and implement them and programs that impact people's lives in a more meaningful way than where the parade is going to be. We need to think about economic opportunity, safety, and how people's quality of life is improved. If folks want to have the Pride Parade downtown, let's have that discussion. But let's start thinking about how we can improve the quality of life, the equity, and the ability for folks to actually actualize